Question from Juan Carlos. Thoughts about rolling over equity when selling your current home to buy a new one? Should it be up to 20% of the new one, fully roll it over? Or is there the same criteria as when you're paying down a mortgage early? How should he think about this?
Say that. I'm sorry. Can you read the last part one more time for me? The actual question part.
Well, you want me to paraphrase and tell me if I'm right on this? Is that Juan Carlos is sharing that he's upgrading the home, second home, has equity in the first home that he's selling, but now he wants to know, does he just roll 20%?
Got it.
Can he do more? Should he do less? And
is there a certain amount of equity you should have?
Here's the thing. Look, first of all, let me tell you the common things, and then Bo and I can pick apart the other thing. Remember, on second homes, you don't get the grace of doing less than 20% because we don't want you because we give you grace on that very first home purchase, 3 to 5%, just so you can get on the home ownership, home equity side of things. But when you start upgrading your life, we want you to carry that responsibility a little heavier. So that's why we do ask that you have 20% of equity to buy a new house. Now, what it sounds like with Juan Carlos is that he's actually going to have more than the 20%. So he's trying to figure out, do you just roll it in? Because do you know how cool it is to be almost debt-free?
Sounds awesome.
I would say since the transaction. Now, look, this is the difference between doing this before the transaction versus after. If you rolled it all in and now you look back and go, man, maybe I should have kept some of that out because I'm not meeting all my other financial goals. Don't mishear me. I'm not telling you to go refinance your house. There's too many friction costs with real estate to do that. But I do want to bring up, because I think the financial order of operations makes this work and makes your homework so much easier. Because if you are in the situation where you're upgrading your house, you have 20% equity, you can very quickly look at your financial situation and see where are you at. And if you skip steps like 5, where you didn't load up your Roth IRA, or you're not loading up, you never hit the 25% in your saving and investment strategy, then you might be behind. And that's why, look, I hate to do it, but there's a reason we created this stuff, because it's so valuable to you. Go to learn.moneyguy.com and we have a Know Your Number course. Because I think when you have such a big financial decision, like you have a big chunk of equity that was you made in your first house, we know the real estate market had a huge spike in the last few years. It would really benefit you to go ahead and start the measure twice, cut once opportunity. Knowing your number, put in all your data variables to know, are you ahead of the curve? Or are you behind the curve? Because look, if you're way ahead of the curve and you still have this money, and now we know interest rates are much higher on mortgages, where maybe your mortgage is going to be 5.5 to even as high as 6.5, it might really make a lot of sense to just roll that stuff in. I'm just trying to make sure we're giving you the guidance. Do the homework of making sure you're paying respect to the financial order of operations. You've done the work of actually filling in the data points to know what you're saving to reach the goals and the number, so that you can be prepared and make the right decision for your family.
And the only thing I'll add to that, because I thought that was darn near a perfect answer. Only thing I'll add to that is make sure that when you're making this decision, you still stay inside of the affordability parameters. A lot of folks, when they upgrade to their second home, naturally the cost of the home is more, the interest rate is higher. If doing that and only putting in 20% causes your monthly care to be more than 25% of your gross income, I would argue you probably do need to roll more of that equity in so that you can get the monthly cost down to 25%. Make sure that you're not trying to get cute, only hit the 20%, invest those dollars, and now all of a sudden you have a cash flow problem where you have way too much going to housing. So long as you can satisfy those metrics, I think, just like Brian said, knowing where you are and knowing where you are heading will dictate what decisions you get to make on this transaction.